New graphic charges filed against a former St. Paul school janitor, what police say he did, and the young people that he's accused of victimizing.
But first, it is official. Minnesota is on the big stage.
We are pleased to announce that Super Bowl 52 in 2018 will be played in Minnesota. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're going to tell you what we've pitched to kind of seal the deal here and what's ahead to make Super Bowl 52 happen. A lot at stake.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Sanger.
And I'm Megan Newquist. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 6 o'clock on the nose, and we're glad you're with us. Let's get a quick check of the forecast. Meteorologist Ken Barlow. Boy, oh boy, today's forecast looks fantastic.
Yeah, you know, we've taken a little dip now down to 52 degrees, which is cool. You don't want to say.
It is. I mean,
yeah. My
car said it was 62 on the way in around 3 this morning.
And it was. So we've taken a 10-degree dip, and that's exactly what it was actually officially, too. If you have a good car thermometer, usually they're off a little bit. 52 degrees right now, sunshine. Now, when you head home, 60s. Lots of sun mixing with a few clouds, but it's that weekend forecast. We've got temperatures in the 70s and 80s. And I'll share that with you coming up in just a bit.
Okay, thank you, Ken. It's just about 6:01. Let's take a look at the TrueView traffic map. Looky there, no red. That's good. But we're going to skip past this and move quickly here to a fire. We've got a semi-fire eastbound 94. This is County Road 18. This is in the Monticello area. We've got a semi-truck that is on fire. We are on the phone right now trying to figure out whether or not the person who is in the truck, the driver of the truck, has been able to get out. But you can see firefighters here are scrambling to the scene to try and get the fire put out. No injuries reported in this. Okay, so just getting word that there are no injuries reported in this, but there's a semi-truck fire. This is eastbound 94 at County Road 18 in Monticello. It is definitely going to cause some delays this morning. We'll kind of keep monitoring this in the back and get back to it if something more develops on this.
Our new stadium in Minnesota is as bold as they come. And it's more than ready.
A huge win for Minneapolis. The 2018 Super Bowl is coming to town. Now the state is ready to show the world that nobody does winter better than Minnesota. 5
Eyewitness News reporter Catherine Johnson is live from the stadium site this morning with what happens now. Nobody knows winter like you know winter, Catherine. How many days did you stand outside in 30 below?
You know, I gotta say, I am a little nervous about February outside, but you know, it's gonna be great for Minneapolis's economy because we're gonna have all those people buying parkas because they're gonna get here and they're not gonna know how many layers they're gonna need. So we at least have that to look forward to. Plans still coming out even at this hour. We know the bid committee is now on their way back to Minnesota from Atlanta after hearing that we won the Super Bowl, all the big news. And so Governor Dayton's going to be holding a news conference this afternoon at 4 o'clock to unveil a lot more details. But we want to tell you what we know this morning. Few details still coming out. Now, the theme of this year's Super Bowl is built for the bold. And after surviving this past winter, that really couldn't be more true. Renderings for the 2018 Super Bowl show an NFL tailgate party spanning across 7 acres right outside the stadium, right here in the heart of downtown Minneapolis. Now, Super Bowl Boulevard on Nicollet Mall will transform into a Winter Games haven, complete with a snowboard halfpipe. Can you imagine that? Curling, broomball, and of course a skating rink. There are also going to be plans in place to hold the game in conjunction with St. Paul's Winter Carnival. Think about all of those cutaway shots during the big game, ice castles, all the ice carvings, and then even the city of Lakes Lopet could take place the same week, all to showcase what this state is all about.
I hope want to come back when there isn't a Super Bowl later on and say, this is a great place to vacation. This is a great place to try a different approach to celebrating and recreating.
Now, we keep talking about how we know winter best. I would argue maybe I know winter best after this past winter, but it's all about timing. The bid committee is saying this is perfect for Minnesota because the Super Bowl falls on the eve before the 2018 Winter Olympic Games over in South Korea. So this would really get global attention, really showcasing what Minnesota's all about. Now, I mentioned the cost earlier about how we're expecting a lot of people to come to REI, all of our shops over here getting all their parkas because it's going to be a shock when they get to Minnesota in February. But not only are we going to benefit, this is going to cost a lot of money, and I'm not just talking about construction projects. We're going to break that down coming up in the next half hour. Live in Minneapolis, Catherine Johnson, 5 Eyewitness News.
All right, Catherine, we look forward to that. Now, if we want to kind of break this down for you, in the first round of voting yesterday, a majority decision was not reached. After a second round, there was still no winner, but Indianapolis at that point was eliminated. With just Minneapolis and New Orleans left, the owners voted a third and eventually a fourth time, finally calling Minneapolis the winner.
This is Minnesota, and it's bold here.
More than ready to take
The committee pushing to bring the Super Bowl to Minnesota says it showcased our state to the fullest. Melvin Tennant, president and CEO of Meet Minneapolis, was a member of the delegation down in Atlanta. He was there for the big announcement yesterday and joins us now live this morning. Thanks for being here today, Mr. Tennant.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, why don't you sort of walk us through what it felt like when we found out that Minnesota was selected?
Well, it was obviously a very exciting time. I think our team was very, very confident in being able to tell our story, but indeed, we took nothing for granted, and we were certainly on the edge of our seats the entire time. Every time we watched the commissioner stand up to make an announcement, it was very, very nerve-wracking. So, but it was very satisfying when we finally got the decision.
I understand somebody in the room even played We Are the Champions by Queen on their phone. Is that true?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
All right, well, by all accounts, the new stadium was a major factor in all this, but it does sound like part of the pitch focused on Mall of America, our airport, our ease of transportation. Can you elaborate on that?
Exactly. We have a lot of great infrastructure to offer for any major event, but of course the stadium project was really the capstone for the entire bidding process. So indeed, you mentioned some of the key components. The Mall of America did a great job in helping us to put that together. Of course, the new Nicollet Mall upgrades, the new hotels that are being built in the area. So we were able to pull it all together, and it was just great that all these projects are coming to fruition all at the same time.
Well, as exciting as this is for civic and corporate leaders, what do you say to the average Minnesotan who will probably likely never see the inside of the stadium, let alone the Super Bowl? How do you sort of rally their support? What's in it for them?
I would say a couple of things. There are a number of free fan events that will be taking place during Super Bowl week, but more importantly, where Meet Minneapolis and our partners are really focusing is on the jobs, because the Super Bowl is coming to the area in a time when a lot of the hospitality workers might not be working full-time. They'll get a chance to have more hours. They'll really get a chance to welcome the more than 100,000 visitors that are coming. So it's about supporting the jobs, and I think that's a very important message to share.
On your long list of things to do to prepare for the big game in 2018, what are some of your top priorities?
Well, I don't really know where to start. We obviously have to continue to build the local host committee, which has already begun. But clearly, we want to make sure that we support all of the stadium construction efforts to the best of our ability. So that's key. But of course, we've got, as I mentioned, the Nicollet Mall, hotel development, hospitality training. I think is going to be important to make sure that we know that the genuine Minnesota hospitality that people are expecting is going to be available to them. So hospitality training is a big part of it as well.
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, we appreciate your time today. Certainly an exciting time here in Minnesota. That was Melvin Tennant, the president and CEO of Meet Minneapolis, who was part of the delegation in Atlanta yesterday for the big Super Bowl announcement.
In Minnesota, we just don't go big. We go bold all the time in everything we do.
Especially when it comes to the great sport of football. We live, breathe, and bleed it.
We Minnesotans are ready to welcome you.
With open arms.
Some local celebrities did their part to help sway the NFL owners. What you just saw were messages to the NFL as part of the bid for the big game. Now, coming up in about 10 minutes, our sports director Joe Schmidt talks about that Super Bowl back in 1992 and what it could say about 2018.